Welcome to Rich Keys Trading Channel. Today we confront the cardinal sins of trading and risk management. Every trader starts with hope, dreams of financial freedom, of success, of mastering the market. But the market, it is not a dream, it's a mirror. It reflects everything inside you: your greed, your fears, your impatience, your ego. The truth is, most traders don't lose because of the market, they lose because of themselves. Today, we're confronting these cardinal sins of trading and risk management, the hidden traps that quietly destroys account and confidence and even lives. If you ever felt the sting of losses, this message is for you. The number one sin, I call it the silent killer: overleverage. This is how most traders begin their downfall, and I've been a victim and a statistic of this. You start with a solid idea, a trade tip, then you overleverage, betting everything on it. One trade turns into a gamble. You hope for a turnaround and luck. You tell yourself, just give it a little bit of time. It will soon find support and turn around. I'm confident this one will hit. Meanwhile, the market moves the opposite direction. Now, you're watching your account balance bleed faster than you can imagine. Overleveraging and oversizing your position will wipe clean your account before you wake up the next day. The second sin is when the market continues to move against your trade plan and you ignore your stop loss and invalidation levels. You say to yourself, the market makers will just knock the stop loss with a candle wick and turn it around. So you move it far away from price level, hoping the trade will reverse in your favor, and sometimes trade without the stop loss at all. You convince yourself that you mentally know when to pull the plug and get out of the losing position. You whisper to yourself, it cannot go lower, but it can. It always can. You may even average down, deceiving yourself that you are dollar cost averaging, DCA, or even buying the dip. All the while, you're digging your own gravesite that will bury your entire account. The cardinal sin that gets worse is when the margin call hits and liquidation levels get closer. You scramble to add more money, trying to save a sinking ship. Not to win, but to avoid admitting the trade is wrong. That's not courage. That is not risk management. That is denial. The cruel truth: it is not the market that takes your money. It is your refusal to protect it. I have learned the hard way: never risk more than you can afford to lose on any trade, because survival, not profit, is the first job as a trader. My next sins were a real battle, not on a computer screen, but in my mind. Trading isn't just about charts and indicators, it is mostly about your emotions and psychology. The third sin was revenge trading. I have been there, done it, and it's one of the most destructive habits. You lose a trade, your emotion screams, I'll get it back. So you jump into the next setup very fast and bigger, and the market punishes you by taking more of your money. You take this loss and you say to yourself, I'll fight back for that stolen money. So you dive into the next trade without a plan and detailed analysis. You chase quickly, and the market humbles you again. This cardinal sin was very frustrating for me. Overtrading comes in as my fourth sin. I wasn't trading setups anymore, just trading emotions and social media hypes. I chased green candles, afraid of missing out. I traded not because it was time, but because I couldn't stand still on the sidelines. And even when the trade plan told me to wait for a signal or confirmation, I ignored it. I started to seek for confirmations that supported my trade buyers even when the evidence wasn't there. That's not a winning strategy. That was self-deception and distraction. You don't have to fall victim to this trap. Remember this: the moment you trade emotionally, you stop being a trader and start being a reckless gambler. Then there is the sin of trading without a plan. No entry rules, no exit, no risk parameters, just impulse. Without a strategy, you're driving blindfolded on a racetrack. You might get lucky once or twice, but luck doesn't last before you crash and go bankrupt. The next sin is a trade plan but no edge. You trade random setups because someone on social media said it works or because it worked once. I confess, I have done that too and lost a lot of money. I remember one time I followed an ATR Hashinaki strategy on YouTube. That was so flawed, as the ATR indicator does not tell the direction, and it was very costly because trading someone's strategy may have no edge at all. The seventh cardinal sin was over optimized strategies. That was back tested, looked perfect, but when the live markets changed, the perfect strategy collapsed. I stubbornly stuck to the original plan instead of acknowledging that conditions had changed. This was a terrible one. And worst of all, I ignored the bigger picture, such as the higher time frames and major trends. In my beginning days, I traded setups without understanding volatility, macro conditions, and major news events. A setup without context is like sailing without compass. It might move, but you don't know where it's moving to. And trust me, no indicator can save you from this ignorance. So, always plan your trade and trade your plan. If the market conditions change, don't stay stubborn. Exit gracefully and evaluate your analysis. Learn from it. Prepare and fight another day. Now I want to share about the intermediary cardinal sins, time and discipline errors. Discipline is what separates traders from dreamers, but even discipline fades. Soon we get comfortable. My eighth cardinal sin was holding losing trades too long, hoping they would turn around. I turned trades into investment out of stubbornness. I told myself it's just temporary, but that hope slowly became denial until it was too late to salvage my account balance. The ninth one, like most new traders, I exited my winners too early. Sometimes I look back today with lots of regret. The fear whispers, take profits now before it disappears. I listened and watched as the trade runs without me. And while I gnashed my teeth wishing I could get back into the trade based purely on fear of missing out, the trade continued. 10. I traded during dead hours out of boredom and greed, chasing noise when liquidity was thin, spreads were wider, and the trade execution was poor. Heck, I even traded with market orders just to get filled quickly. I skipped journaling and making trade notes, thinking, oh, what's the point? I'll remember. But without notes to review, you are bound to repeat the same painful mistakes again and again. The lesson here is that trading without sober reflection or review isn't trading. It's errors in judgment and mistakes placed on cruise control. And finally, the greatest sin of all, a misaligned mindset. The 11th sin was treating trading like gambling. I chased top percent gainers, not with discipline. I compared myself to others, feeling and asking myself, how come they are making millions and I'm barely turning a profit? I followed social media trade signals and took reckless trades and huge position sizes to try and catch up. I focused on profits, not the process. I forgot that trading is a marathon, not a sprint. And the worst of all the sins, self-neglect. I traded tired, angry, lonely, and the market didn't care. So in summary, trading exposes who you are, your fears, your flaws, your strength, your habits, but it can also build you if you're willing to face the truth and see yourself in the mirror. Every trader commits at least one of these sins regularly. Every trader fails and destroys accounts at some point. But what separates the broken from the reborn is awareness. Just like me, you can rebuild. You can learn patience. You can protect your capital and your peace. Trading isn't just technical, it's psychological, it's personal. It isn't just about predicting markets like a fortune teller. It's about discipline and mastering yourself. And once you do, profits would follow. I've committed these sins. I have learned. Every loss taught me something. Every mistake became a mirror. And now I trade with clarity, discipline, and confidence. For my family and myself. If you have committed these sins, you are not alone. You don't have to stay stuck. Stay disciplined. Stay patient. Stay in the game. If this message hits home, share it with a trader who is struggling. Because sometimes, one moment of truth can save a trading career. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like if you found value, and let's trade with purpose, redemption, and rebirth.